Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. In this one, I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to do a setup tour. I will guide you guys through everything that I have in my setup and what I want to upgrade in the future. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Starting off from the left side, we have my main gaming PC. This is where I do pretty much all of my gaming. This PC is a dual-use gaming workstation PC. I do sometimes edit videos and use VMware on here, but this is mostly a gaming PC. Specs-wise, this thing has an AMD Ryzen 9 9950X3D that is backed up by an X870 motherboard from MSI, X870E actually. I have two sticks of 48 gig each, that is 96 total gigabytes of DDR5 RAM. Clocked at 6400 megatransfers per second, it is Kingston Fury Renegade RAM. For storage, I have a pair of 4TB NVMe SSDs, both Kingston Fury Renegade as well, a pair of 2TB hard drives, and a 4TB hard drive. The SSDs I mostly use for games, and of course, one of the 4TB drives as a boot drive. The 4TB hard drive I use mostly for virtual machines and storing ISOs, and the pair of 2TB hard drives I use mostly for recordings, edits, and stuff like that. Now, I probably don't need 16 terabytes of storage, but I did have a lot of these drives lying around, so I just decided to put them all here in one PC. This thing is an absolute monster. It is one of the fastest PCs known to mankind. I'm cooling that 9950X3D with an Antec Vortex 240mm AIO. Not the best of AIOs, but I am planning to get a new case and new AIO for this computer very soon. Currently, the case for this thing is an Antec AX83, which may sound weird, but my 5090 does fit in here just about. And it's also backed up by a 1300 watt MSI AI 1300P 80 plus platinum power supply. So yeah, this thing is an absolute beast. The upgrades that I do want to make for this thing are only aesthetic upgrades, a new case and a new AIO. Other than that, this thing is stacked. Now for the monitor, this I will be replacing very soon. And this monitor is actually only temporary. It is a Lenovo G24-20. It's a 1080p 165Hz monitor. The reason why I have it is because I broke my 1440p 240Hz monitor that I have connected to here. That I used to have, connected to here. But I do want to get a 4K OLED for this thing sometime very soon. For the keyboard, I'm using a custom-built F75 keyboard that I got off of one of my coworkers. It's a great keyboard, yellow switches. I've been really enjoying this thing. I got it not long ago. For the mouse, I'm using a SteelSeries Sensei 10, which is a decent overall mouse. I don't really feel the need to replace it. And for headphones, I'm using the Arctis Nova 5, which are also pretty good. Alright, so that's my gaming PC. Let's move on to my editing PC. This PC I do most of my editing on. I also have a capture card connected to this thing, so this is also my streaming PC. But yeah, this is where I do most of my editing. I use Adobe Premiere on this thing, Adobe Photoshop. It's also used for gaming as well. I have a bunch of games installed, but it's mostly for when friends come over. This is more of an editing PC than anything else. And it's also a bit of a sleeper build. In terms of specs, it is not really any less impressive than my gaming PC. This thing, I needed a ton of CPU cores for this thing, so this thing has an Intel Core i9 14900KS, which is a 24-core 32-thread monster. It may not be as good for gaming as the Ryzen 9, but in terms of editing, this thing is an absolute monster. It's backed up by an Asus ProArt Z790 motherboard. I chose a ProArt motherboard because this is meant to be more of a workstation PC. For RAM, I have 64 gigabytes. That is two 32 gig sticks of DDR5. Clocked at 6400 megatransfers per second. These are Kingston Fury Renegade as well. I do want to upgrade that RAM sometime because this is a workstation editing PC, but for now, I don't feel the need. I am going to upgrade the storage very soon. Currently, I have a 2TB Kingston Fury Renegade Gen 5 SSD as a boot drive. And I have a 2TB hard drive, as well as a 500 gig hard drive that I had lying around I just decided to put in here. I will be getting more storage for this thing very soon, probably another 2 or 4 terabyte Gen 4 or 5 NVMe SSD. I'm not sure yet. For the case, I'm just using a generic old case from like 2012. It gets the job done. This thing is actually really big, and yeah, it fits fine 5090 perfectly. Better than the case in my gaming PC. It's actually bigger than that. And this thing has pretty good airflow, but just the aesthetics aren't that great. For the monitor, this I'm also replacing very soon. This is just a generic old 1080p monitor. It's actually okay. It's a 144 hertz monitor, but yeah, I do want to get a 4K OLED for this thing soon as well. Both these monitors are only temporary. I'll probably get 4K OLEDs for both of them. For the keyboard, I'm using an Apex Pro. I had this thing for over 2 years. This is not the new Gen 3. It's the older generation, but it's still a very good keyboard. Of course, it's an Apex Pro. For the mouse, I'm using an HP Omen Vector. I actually got this for free 3 years ago in 2022. It gets the job done. Don't really feel the need to replace it. And for the headphones, I'm using the Logitech G332, which are also okay, but I do want to replace them sometime. So yeah, that's my workstation PC. Now let's move on to my third and final PC of the video, my laptop. This is my Asus VivoBook Pro 16X, which is an OLED-based laptop. This is where I do my on-the-go gaming and video editing. Performance-wise, this thing has an Intel Core i7-14700HX, a very powerful CPU that is paired with 64 gigs of DDR5 RAM. I upgraded from 32, and a 4TB NVMe SSD, which I also upgraded. And for the graphics card, this thing has a mobile RTX 4070, more than enough for me for a laptop. I didn't go all out like I did with my desktops, but this thing is still really good. And my favorite thing about this laptop is the screen. It's actually a 2560 by 1600 OLED panel with a refresh rate of 165 Hz. It looks absolutely gorgeous. As it is one of the best laptop screens I've ever seen. And yeah, it's hard to go back when you have an OLED screen. Connected to it, I have just an old Microsoft mouse. I am replacing this soon, definitely. But for now, it's okay. So yeah, that's been my setup tour. I hope you guys liked it, and I may do an updated setup tour in like a month or two, depending on how many upgrades I'll get. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.